Good morning, Southeast Louisiana. I'm Duke Carter. Thanks for joining us for the Eyewitness Morning News. It has been a rough overnight. We saw some clouds. We saw some rain. Chris Franklin is here to tell us more about today's weather. Chris, what can we expect today?
Good morning, Duke. Not a washout of a day, but our rain chances are a little bit higher, and those showers and thunderstorms have already gotten started kind of early this morning.
Thank you, Chris. We begin with breaking news this morning. A North Korean foreign minister is calling out the U.S. over its warning to other countries violating international sanctions on North Korea. Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho said at a conference in Singapore the U.S. is, quote, is raising its voice louder for maintaining the sanctions against North Korea, end quote. The minister says while North Korea has initiated goodwill measures, but says the U.S. has gone back to the old far from its leader's intention. The minister's comments follows U.S. Secretary Mike Pompeo also speaking Singapore, saying Russia has violated UN sanctions by allowing joint ventures with North Korean companies and issuing new permits for North Korean guest workers. Thank you. Meanwhile, closer to home, we're following breaking news out of Holly Grove. A man is in recovery from his injuries after a shooting at the intersection of Cherry Street and Apricot Street. The victim is receiving treatment for the gunshot wounds at a hospital. Police have not released his condition. If you know anything about this shooting, please call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. You don't have to leave your name, and you can earn a cash reward. We're also following breaking news from overnight in New Orleans East. One man is dead this morning after a traffic accident on Chef Mentor Highway. Detectives say it happened just before midnight at the intersection of Chef Mentor and Interstate 510 southbound. Investigators were able to determine that a man was driving east on Chef Mentor Highway when he lost control of his car for an unknown reason and then hit the Chef exit guardrails. The driver unfortunately passed away at the scene, and the Orleans Parish Coroner's Office will determine the official cause of death and release the victim's name after an autopsy. Before you make your morning coffee or brush your teeth, we want to warn you about a precautionary boil water advisory. The Sewerage and Water Board issued the advisory today for some residents in New Orleans East. Crews are replacing some hydrants along Chef Mentor Highway, and the boil water advisory will affect customers east of the Industrial Parkway, including Textron and all of Venetian Isles. Residents may be without water for the duration of the repairs. Afterward, tests will be conducted to make sure the water is safe for consumption. The Sewerage and Water Board did not tell us how long the project will take to complete. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren sits down with Louisiana Congressman Cedric Richmond at an event hosted by Dillard University. Both are prominent Democratic leaders, and both are optimistic about their party's chances of gaining numbers in the upcoming midterm elections. But local Republicans say that optimism is misplaced. Carice Jackman caught up with the reps from both parties who have very different scenarios for the showdown coming in November.
Here inside the auditorium at Dillard University, Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative Cedric Richmond had a very open and candid discussion about politics. But one very important thing they really wanted to talk about were the midterm elections.
Family and friends are mourning the loss of former Orleans Parish Assessor Ken Carter, a man who achieved many firsts here in New Orleans, especially in politics, law, and business. Carter grew up in Central City and was one of the first 5 African-American students who went to Loyola University undergraduate program in 1962. He was also the city's first African-American elected assessor. Governor John Bel Edwards released a statement that says, in part, quote, Ken was one of the kindest and most decent people I've met. Carter leaves behind his wife of 53 years and 3 daughters, including current state senator Karen Carter Peterson. Carter was 74 years old, and funeral arrangements are pending. We have lots more coming up for you in this half hour of the show. The Satchmo Summerfest picks up this morning, come rain or shine. We'll have more after the break.
And unfortunately, that might be more rain. We do have additional rain in the forecast.
Welcome back. There was some heavy rain casting a shadow over the kickoff to this year's Satchmo Summer Festival, but that didn't spoil the fun. Yes, indeed. Well, it all started around 11 yesterday morning at the Old U.S. Mint. The festival highlights traditional and contemporary jazz and highlights great local food and features some fascinating exhibits inside the Old Mint Jazz Museum. Today's lineup of performers include the Edna Karr High School Marching Cougars at 11:15 this morning, Mahogany Brass Band at 3 this afternoon, Charmaine Neville at 4:30, and TBC Brass Band closing out the fest tonight starting at 7:50. General admission is only $5. Children 12 and under get in for free. Well, we saw some thunderstorms this morning. Meteorologist Chris Franklin joins us. Chris, are we expecting rain this weekend?
Yes. Not a washout, but at times we'll see some heavy rounds of rain. So headed out to Satchmo, Summerfest. There'll be times that it may be kind of wet.
Can you give me some good news? I mean, what if I wanted to go outside? You're telling me about a weekend it's just like...
You'll have tents. Oh, if you just want to go outside? Well, consider that the rain and clouds will keep it a little cooler.
That's some good news. I will take that.
There
See?
you go.
See?
I'm trying to help you out. Trying to help you out. Let's take a look. For Satchmo Summerfest, that rain chance today about 60%. Again, we're going to see periods of some heavy rain. Now, the good news is the rainfall will be moving, so we shouldn't see a lot of that rain sit if we do see any kind of training of some...
Thank you, Chris. Some internationally renowned thought leaders have chosen New Orleans to host two important conferences, the Aspen Institute and Next City. But these aren't huge conferences with tens of thousands of attendees filling the convention center or Bourbon Street. The Rees-Mogg conferences with international leadings addressing targeted issues. That's leading New Orleans. It's leading New Orleans. Well, joining us more to tell us more about that is Morgan Stewart, and I'm going to try my best, Alejandra Guzman. I got it?
That's awesome.
Perfect. Thank you kindly.
I love it.
Thank you kindly. Both of you all are from the New Orleans Business Alliance. Want to thank you all for coming in. So talk to us, Ms. Guzman. Talk to us about Next City and talk to us about these conferences.
Well, thank you for having us here. We love being a guest on your show.
Thank you.
We're thrilled that this two...
Thank you, Chris. Some internationally renowned thought leaders have chosen New Orleans to host two important conferences, the Aspen Institute and Next City. But these aren't huge conferences with tens of thousands of attendees filling the convention center or Bourbon Street. The Rees-Mogg conferences with international leadings addressing targeted issues. That's leading New Orleans. It's leading New Orleans. Well, joining us more to tell us more about that is Morgan Stewart, and I'm going to try my best, Alejandra Guzman. I got it?
That's awesome.
Perfect. Thank you kindly.
I love it.
Thank you kindly. Both of you all are from the New Orleans Business Alliance. Want to thank you all for coming in. So talk to us, Ms. Guzman. Talk to us about Next City and talk to us about these conferences.
Well, thank you for having us here. We love being a guest on your show.
Thank you.
We're thrilled that this two...
Welcome back. We have lots more coming up in the next half hour of the show. We're learning more about a French Quarter murder as the victim's father tries to comprehend how a workplace dispute cost his son's life. But check this out. A rhino goes on the rampage. Look at that video there. We'll tell you about this and where this happened. And for the first time, a man is on the Sensation Squad. Learn where he's from. We'll have all that for you when we come back. Good morning. It's time to rise and shine. It's, Saturday morning. I'm here, Duke Carter. Thank you for joining us for the Eyewitness Morning News. Chris is just full of giggles.
That greeting for everyone at home.
I know, I totally butchered it, but I was at least trying to change it up a little bit, add some flavor to it, sprinkle some salt and pepper, But meanwhile, though, I love your facial expressions. Love his facial expressions. You missed me? Because you said you didn't want me back last time I was here. Did you miss me?
I did. It's felt too long.
You said that for television, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway.
Yeah, there are a lot of things I say for television.
Wow. Anywho, for television, talk to us about the weather. What can we expect today?
Just adding a little flavor to it. Is that
Thank
what you're doing, Duke?
Add a little flavor.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I think you put a little too much. Let's take a look at what's happening outside. We've got mostly cloudy skies.
Thanks, Chris. A businessman and former professional boxer is grief-stricken this morning after losing his son in a French Quarter shooting. It happened near the intersection of Decatur and Bienville Street. Paul Murphy sat down with Fouad Zeytin to talk about the murder of his son.
God bless your soul. God bless your heart, son. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you so much.
Fouad Zeytin, a bear of a man and former professional boxer.
And that was Paul Murphy reporting. Fouad Zeytin is a major political donor here in New Orleans. He said LaToya Cantrell was one of the first people to call him after his son was killed. A spokesperson for the mayor said, quote, the mayor offered her condolences privately to Mr. Zeytin. As with all cases of violent crime, the mayor is working actively with our police officers to see that justice is is done. And that was Paul
Survivors
Murphy
of the
reporting
Park
for
Lane,
Azim
Florida high
is a
school
major
shooting
political
are
donor
bringing
here
their
in New
Road
Orleans.
to
He said
Change
Latoya
tour here
Cantrell
to New Orleans.
was one of the first
Survivors
people
will
to call
join
him after
local
his
students
son
to
was
host a
killed.
town hall meeting
A
tonight to
spokesperson
talk
for the
about
mayor
gun
said,
violence here in the
the
city.
mayor offered
And joining us
the
right now to tell
condolences
us more
privately
about the
to
rally
Azim.
is Ben
As
Franklin,
with
student
all
of Olivia
cases of
Keefe,
violent crime,
and
the
school
mayor
shooting
is working
survivors
actively with
Sophie
our police
Whitney and
officers
Brendan
to
Duff
see that
from Marjorie
justice
Stoneman
is
at
done.
Douglas High School.
In
Survivors of the
Parkland,
Park
Florida.
Lane,
Thank you all
Florida
for
high
being
school
here.
shooting are bringing
I'm going to start off
their
with you,
Road
Ms.
to
Keefe.
Change tour
Talk to
here
us
New
about what's
Orleans.
happening today.
Survivors will
Well,
join
today we're
local
having a
students to
town
host
hall with
meeting tonight
our
to talk about
friends
gun
from
violence here
Florida
in the city.
and local
joining us right now to
activists.
tell us more
We're
about the rally
hoping
is Ben Franklin
to
student Olivia
bring
Keefe
the
and school
attention
shooting
that their
survivors
movement has
Sophie
been
Whitney
getting
and Brendan Duff
all
from
the
Marjorie
wonderful
Stoneman
support
at Douglas
from
High
around
School
the
in
nation.
Parkland, Florida.
Bring it
Thank you
here
all
to
for
New
being
Orleans
here.
and focus on
I'm gonna
our
start off with
city
you,
and
Ms.
see
Keefe.
what we
Talk
can
to us
do
about what's happening
to.
today.
Well, today we're
Really,
having a
like-
town hall with our
To really, like,
friends from
focus on
Florida
gun
and
violence.
We get this a lot, and it was just a really scary moment. Like, I don't want, the reason we're doing all this is because we don't want anyone to have to go through anything like that, and that's why we're here.
What is the goal you would like to get accomplished? Of course, you don't want to see gun violence anywhere, but what is the goal you would like to see?
Well, especially in cities like New Orleans, we think it's really important to come to these areas that are disproportionately affected, but more than that.
Local rally in downtown Portland this morning could turn violent. Portland police say that's why they will be out in force when the Patriot Prayer Group from Vancouver arrives at Waterfront Park. They will be met by vocal opponents, and Patriot Prayer had encouraged supporters to bring guns, but police is putting out the message guns and other weapons are not allowed in city parks and they will be confiscated. While there is no permit for the march, the expectation is that if police end up closing the park, the groups will head to the streets. In Florida, 2 Palm Beach Gardens police officers are being hailed as heroes and was all caught on camera. The 2 officers were on their lunch break at a shopping mall when they heard panic in a mother's voice as her 14-month-old daughter began choking on a chicken nugget. The 2 officers helped dislodge the piece of food. The little girl's mother wrote a letter to the department to thank the officers. Both officers involved received a life-saving award for their heroic action. A Russian airline says a helicopter crashed shortly after takeoff in Siberia, killing all 18 people. Preliminary information indicated that the aircraft's blades collided with another helicopter that had taken off before from the same pad in around 1,600 miles northeast of Moscow. There were 15 passengers and 3 crew aboard. The second helicopter landed safely. Russian news reports said all the passengers were believed to have been working for a subsidiary of the state oil company Rosneft. Well, try to explain this one to your insurance company. Get this right here. A rhino chased and rammed a small sport utility vehicle carrying visitors at a zoo in central Mexico. A video posted by a man in a car just to the rear is going viral. Look at this. Well, we're going to have more coming up. We'll be back. A Lafayette man had just made Saints history. Get it? Jesse Hernandez just became the first man to make the Saints cheerleading squad. The 25-year-old is a dance instructor who previously taught high school and college dance squads. Well, that's cool. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's the lead into this story that's got you giggling.
Exactly, because I'm waiting for you to see yourself. So speaking of talented male dancers, we're going to look no further than, of course, you know, the talented myself and this guy right here, who's far away.
C. Frank?
Far away. Yeah, C.
Why
Frank.
does it say C. Frank?
We're trying to give you a little edge.
When have I ever gone by C. Frank?
We're trying to give you a little flavor. We keep telling you that. I keep telling you
You're
that.
trying to add a little flavor.
Add a little flavor. And we had some other members of the WL Morning Squad doing our own little Kiki challenge. Look at
Look
this.
at Duke go. Well, this is going to haunt me for the rest of my days.
You know what, though? You had it in the beginning.
Look,
you were rolling
I
with
tried.
us.
I really tried.
And we appreciate your effort. We really do. But
And
it was
I
this,
just started backing it up.
and we were like, oh,
Oh, wait,
snap.
hold on a second.
Wait,
I don't
that's-
think he knows what he is doing.
That wasn't part of the dance moves. It was like literally a step left, step right.
I like how the camera focuses on me
Because
trying
it was-
to back it up off set. I'm simply trying to back it up.
We can
And
tell. We can
it
tell.
didn't work.
It didn't go well, but we appreciate you because we did get a lot of views. A lot of people liked you attempting to back
I
it
don't know if
up.
that was what it was.
It's cool. Well, we had Dave in there. We had Rick Neese, April, of course, and
Saving the best for last.
you. You stole the show.
Did I really?
You were like Beyonce at the Super Bowl. You just shut it down. here in New Orleans. You shut it down.
I don't know if I've ever or will ever be compared to Beyonce at the Super Bowl.
Because I'm giving you a compliment, Chris. You
I
know
appreciate
we
it.
don't do that often.
No, we don't.
We
No,
don't
we
do
don't,
that
so I
often.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Anywho, weather.
Was it my backing it up that did it?
Pretty much.
Is that what sold it?
Pretty much, Chris.
Hey, I'll take it. Let's take a look at what's happening outside right now.
Question, do you love me?
Always.
I love you too, Chris. We have much more ahead for the Kiki Challenge. Anyway, we're talking about music. Eric Paulson takes an in-depth look at the music legend Louis Armstrong. You don't want to miss this. We'll be back.